As America continues to promote National Employer and Older Worker Week up until the end of September, I've been thinking about the relevance of CVs. And I'm thinking it's time to kill them off, bury them for good. And the reason being is the two-page CV really does a disservice to both the candidate and also the employer, because you're not really able to share the best of you, the fuller version of you in a two-page document. The CV, like a passport, literally is a list of dates as to qualifications you might have acquired, jobs you've worked at, and then with some targets in terms of things that you have achieved. And like a passport, it's a list of dates. When you travel to particular countries, you've got a stamp in it, you might have a visa in it. But neither of them actually point to the experiential side of who we are as people. And the more that we're moving through our world in 2022 and beyond, the whole idea is about engaging the whole person. How do we take a whole person approach and bring that into the world of work that's going to be beneficial for the candidate as well as the potential employer? And the CV really doesn't do it justice. Now, particularly if you are a baby boomer or somebody from the silent generation, you've got at least 40, 50, 60 years maybe in terms of the working world, and you can't really distill that down into the most effective way of promoting yourself. And, so there are 4 reasons why I think it's time to kill off the CV. The CV is outdated. Also, it's not data driven. So, yesterday, for example, I was at the Big Data London, it's a 2-day conference, and everything is about data. If you think about each and every one of us, we are a house of data, we are containers of data. And so, the difference between data analytics as well as reporting, which is like a CV. Reporting is just quantitative. You did this on this particular date and you achieved these targets. Whereas analysis enables you to comb through the data, pull out salient pieces of information that can be enriched, and then you can tie that information far more tightly in a way that's meaningful for the person who's applying for the job, but also in terms of what the job requirements are. If we think back to when the CV was first introduced, it goes back to 1482, when it was the time of Leonardo da Vinci, and he put together all of his accomplishments, sent it off to the Duke of Milan, who then became, a lifelong patron of his. But how relevant is the CV for 2022 and beyond? Well, here are 4 reasons why I think it's time to kill it off. They're outdated, and there are other ways of doing it. So if we think about Stephen Bartlett, who's the latest dragon on Dragon's Den, and he built up a big business called Social Chain, he's got a podcast called Diary of a CEO, etc. I saw that he posted out maybe 8-9 months ago that they were looking to hire a couple of new people. I love the simplicity of his process. He was very clear in terms of what the roles were. And he explicitly said, I don't care what your qualifications are. I don't care what your grades are, whether you've got a degree, you don't have a degree. What's more important is, are you a nice person? Are you teachable? Do you have a positive attitude? And are you willing to learn? And then on top of that, all he asked was for the candidates to write 3 bullet points. That's it, 3 bullet points as to why they felt they were the right person for this particular role. And then just to put a link to their LinkedIn profile. Simple, effective. What that then allows is the candidate to really comb through all of their experiences and their insights in a way that will more closely tie that experience to what the job requires, which is far better than a CV, because a CV does not guarantee success. So that's one reason. Second reason is we can look at the world of virtual reality and how virtual reality can actually improve the recruitment process. The reason being is because it's about shared experiences, and it's an experiential, it's an immersive process that both the candidate and the prospective employer can engage in. So from a recruitment point of view, as the company, you can put together experiences that will walk through a candidate. It could be like an internal tour of the office. It could be, what's your Friday happy hour like? It could be allowing the potential candidate to imagine what it would be like to work in that particular environment. Also, you could be training the potential candidate. So, virtual reality is a very powerful medium through which to recruit. Now, it's expensive to set up. And so, invariably, it will be used by larger enterprises. But once that's in place, then the recruitment process is simplified, but it's also more cost effective because, as the employer, you can cast your net widely right across the world to engage with prospects, and you don't necessarily have to fly them to the office. So companies who are using VR in interesting ways are Commonwealth Bank, and they're based in Australia, for example, and they use virtual reality to actually test potential candidates in terms of their decision-making powers. How do they actually respond under stress? And the scenarios are based on real-life experiences from the company. And then there's a German company, it's a train company called Deutsche Bahn, and they use VR to train people. So they are really practical ways, but it brings the parties together in an environment whereby they can begin to engage with each other, which takes it away from this static document and makes it far more interactive, which is only a positive thing. Then the third one is around artificial intelligence. So AI, think about chatbots. So chatbots are there. They're a screening process, and they are a way to initially engage a potential candidate. Now, they're a little bit dehumanizing in that they're a bit cold, so they don't really enhance the human process, but they are a filtering process. The thing to actually be careful of with AI, on the one hand, people will say, well, it eliminates bias, but that's only if the people who program or who write the code and the algorithm are conscious enough in terms of their conscious, programmers and engineers. But it is a valuable way of engaging with the process. And then we have data. As I said, it's data driven. We want to be making as much use of the data that we contain within us, as well as the data that's around us, because we're walking through the world of data, and AI is driven by big data. So I think the recruitment process will be far better served when it is humanized. It moves it away from this static, flat, 2 to 3 pages, and actually embraces the whole person, who then can select in a way the best of their experiences, the reflections from what they've learned, and bring that into the world of work. So yes, I am an advocate. Let's kill off that 2-3 page CV. Let's bury it, and let's bring far more human experiences into the recruitment process. I'd love to hear your experiences, as a job seeker. What do you think about the CV? Is it relevant? Is it valid? And if you're a recruiter or a talent scout, what do you think of the CV? And are you using alternative ways to engage employees? So yeah, put your comments in the comment box below, and I look forward to receiving them. Take care, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye.